Welcome to Digital Music Education Series, DME series for short. My name is Ahuifa. Mimi Jonila is here and we're live on jonila.net and youtube.com/Jonila online. And this COVID-19 season, please make sure you wash your hands as many times as you can during this lockdown and try being creative. During this home house-based thing.
And don't forget to also socially distance yourself like we are doing here. There's some level of distance among, that's not the regular sitting position, but for the sake,
while working from home.
Yes, while working from home. Yes, you're working from home.
So we're talking about what should artists consider when selecting a manager. And this is a very sensitive topic for me personally. Jonila, I'm asking, who is an artist manager on a reel?
An artist manager is his administrator. It means that on a business front, that individual who coordinates the artist's personal activities. That person who coordinates the artist's business front, from production to marketing to promotion, whatever. So that individual who puts all these things together for the artist to be on the run is what we call a manager. Okay,
so that is a manager. What exactly do these managers do aside putting all of these things together for the artist?
Yes, before we even talk about the professional level, I feel every manager should have a certain quality.
Like?
Being a manager, beside maybe studying it somewhere, it's a calling. It's a spiritual business because you can never and ever work with an individual you are not connected with.
Well, that's true.
You get the point? So you first need to understand that person on a personal level. There are times where you call your artist, you want to discuss something with him, and you get the mood and quickly have to change the subject. Okay, let me call you in 10 minutes time, or let me call you an hour. Okay, let's do this some other time. You need to know the person's temperament, psychological build-up. You need to know all these things before you can manage. And personally, you should be able to manage yourself. If you're not time conscious, there's no way you can manage anybody's time.
Okay.
Am I saying something?
I am time conscious.
Oh no, am I saying something?
I'm time conscious.
I know.
Yeah.
You're trying to be personal here. If you cannot manage certain things on a personal level, there's no way you can manage somebody else as well.
Yeah, that's true.
You understand? So this is the other side of it that we really need to consider before going to the other stuff. So if that artist manager can learn other things, like for instance, it sounds very funny, but if an artist manager cannot iron, cannot polish, cannot clean, yes, and I'm talking about the concept that we use here in Africa.
Okay.
The artist manager should be able to do certain things. On a real, an artist manager should understand sound like.
Sure.
You should understand craft, art. You should, to a certain extent, you should be able to use camera or phone. You should be able to edit, because you get to a certain point where you need to meet a certain deadline.
And
you have people going to disappoint you over and over.
So
you have to be able to do some of these things. You get it? You should be able to manage crisis. When there are no funds, your investors are failing, your booking agencies are disappointing you, event organizers are failing you. How do you build your artists not to give back negative energy? There are a lot of artist managers that have disappointed themselves because they follow their artists too much. When I say follow, they take everything their artists say and work with it. They've never been bold enough to tell their artists that, okay, this is wrong, this is right. They see following the artist to every place as management. No, you should have a plan. The direction you want to take the artist to. If there is an artist manager managing an artist and people have not felt the difference after 2 years, I don't think that person is really working. not just putting songs out there and the song is buzzing. No, we are not talking about that one, because everybody can record a hit song, but to get a brand working is strategic, and that one solely relies on the effort of the artist manager.
Okay.
You get it?
An artist manager.
Yes.
Okay.
So basically that is it.
So I know that things are changing as the years go by. So what has actually changed over the years pertaining to artist management?
What has actually changed is the workload on artist managers.
Okay.
Because we are no more using the record label structure where we have like business manager, road manager, and all this. This time round, the same artist manager is the same business manager.
Yeah.
He's the same person, or he or she is the same person that event organizers call, the media calls, and everybody calls. So his workload has increased. And to some extent, you even see artists playing roles that maybe another professional should be playing.
Yeah.
You get it? Like these days, we have artists themselves doing mastering, mixing. That shouldn't be their job. But because technology is increasing, prices are increasing, everything, you have to learn something extra.
Yeah.
You get it? So the workload on artist managers is like rising almost every day. So it means that artist managers are so much under pressure and they are underperforming.
Oh.
Yes, some artist managers are underperforming because you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. But you can only perform very well if you are able to have a plan, like 6 months plan, 3 months plan, and say, this is what I want to achieve as an artist manager. This is what I want my artist to achieve.
Okay.
If you're able to do that, you have a blueprint, you'll be able to work with it and deliver.
Okay. What should artists also consider when selecting a manager for themselves?
Select somebody that you are connected with.
Okay.
Spiritually, emotionally. The reason I'm saying this is people can go study what the role of an artist manager from somebody or from a school, like human resource. So basically, that's why you should be connected. Pick somebody that you really trust. Trust is really important, because there are times where you have some challenges that you even have to deal with without the artist knowing.
Yeah.
And that is what real managers do. They handle the issue before they come to the artist and say, let's do this, let's do this. This thing is wrong. This is how it's supposed to go. We have this limited resource, but this is what I want us to do. You understand? Because the artist will see you as a brother, a father, or like, you get it? Because you are managing the whole personality.
Yeah.
You get it? So these are the things the artist should consider. If you are not connected with, then don't. If you have an artist manager who like unnecessary expenditures and all this one, then you should know that he is killing you.
Yeah, sure.
So that's it. And an artist manager who cannot tell you in the face that you are wrong. This is how you're supposed to do it. It's not a good manager.
Oh.
It's just like a father or a mother at home who cannot correct a child. They will always go wayward.
Okay.
Spare the rod, spoil the child.
Well, that in Africa.
Same thing elsewhere, because we've seen a lot of big brands not able to stand till now because of failure of these things. You see, certain things we practice in Africa and we feel is wrong.
Actually, right.
Is truly the way to go.
Sure.
Spare the rod, you spoil the child. That's why you'll be fooling and your parents will give you one heavy at the back and your adrenaline will start.
I've not had that before.
You've not had that before?
No.
You receive one soon.
So spare the rod and spoil the child. Thank you, Jonila. You can always keep watching and listening to us on jonila.net and youtube.com/Jonila online. My name is Ahuifa Mimi.
Can